As you guys can tell, we are getting the engine into the Impreza finally. I was able to secure a second set of 1/2-inch head studs in the meantime while I wait for a back ordered set. And once that's allocated for that blue hatch, which was gonna be coming in today, but there was a small delay on that, so that's gonna be happening in the very short future, so you guys will see that coming up. But in the meantime, since I have today, we're gonna go ahead and get our engine installed into the Impreza. Now, if you guys are new here, this is my 1998 Subaru 2.5RS, fully STI swap. This car has all the kit and caboodle stuff on it. More sport tubular subframe, STI 6-speed, Haltech R3, all of the goodies, 22B wide body kit on it. Now in the last video, we built our short block for this car. This is an out front V3 closed deck cases. This is an engine that I built myself. We have a set of CP super coated pistons. We've got Manly I-beams in this thing. We've got an RCM dry sump on here. All of the good stuff on this short block. And I was able to get our heads back from the machine shop. Last night, my buddy Eric went through and he has a nice mill. He milled out he drilled up all of our holes to 1/2-inch. So I didn't have to use my drill press or anything like that, which is fine. I use the drill press quite often, but having an actual mill to be able to upsize all of these heads works so much better. So I've just gone through, cleaned all of these out, got any chips that were in them out of there. For these heads, we have a set of GSC springs, titanium retainers, GSC valve spring seats, a set of GSC S2 cams, and these are brand new B25 cylinder head castings. They are OEM Subaru. I know there are some knockoffs out there, which they work okay, but if I'm doing this, I wanted OEM Subaru. We have a set of IAG 1/2-inch head studs for our engine, and then I've got literally everything on this back rack for the most part that we're gonna be installing on this. Goal for this engine is about 600 horsepower. This engine is exceptionally overbuilt for that, which is not a bad thing by any means, but I'm just really excited to finally see an engine in this car with everything that's gone in on this thing. Seeing an actual EJ back in there, dude, it's gonna warm my heart. So I don't wanna waste too much time. Let's just jump into it. I've got everything cleaned already. We're gonna do one more quick cleaning on top of everything. We'll get our cylinder heads bolted down. We'll get all of that sealed up. We can get this thing timed, and we can get this thing in this car. For head gaskets on this engine, we are gonna be using some Athena fire locks. With some of the power that we're gonna be in the abuse that this car is gonna see, it's a good addition to have. Now, I've said this before, you can put head gaskets on wrong on a Subaru, so make sure that the oil galley port does line up. If it doesn't, you're gonna be in for some interesting troubles later on. Why can't I get this out right now? So the fire lock rings just sit inside of the bores on here, just like that. And that's pretty much how your head gasket's gonna sit. Make sure you clean this stuff out, especially if you just had it machined for 1/2-inch studs like we did. Look at that, look how easy, nice and easy that goes on. So before we start tossing at head studs, we need to clean them all real quick. cylinder heads all torqued down. I went 120 foot-pounds on these. I know people go more. I know some people go less. We're not going to be running all the boost in the world on this. Maybe 30 to 35 PSI. With half-inch studs and 120 foot-pounds on all of them, that'll be more than enough. So now that we've got both cylinder heads bolted to the short block, we need to get our cams and all this fun stuff in. So we'll just do both sides, then we'll start grabbing stuff off the back rack for timing, covers, sensors, all that fun stuff, just to get it on this engine, because dude, I am dying to see this thing in the car. Let's just gonna jump over to the passenger side, do the same thing, put the cams in and everything like that, but I wanna seal up the side of the cylinder head because I know as soon as I turn this engine, assembly lube's gonna leak out the bottom of it, and I don't wanna make a mess on the floor, obviously. So we have essentially all new everything for this engine. I mean, literally everything is new for the most part, because I didn't have a swap car to be able to pull an engine from and take all these smaller accessories. So over the past 4 months, I've been buying a lot of this stuff as I can, so that way when we got to this point, we could just build a full long block. On the table in front of me, we have a brand new OEM valve cover. I've already got the RCM block off on there, and I've already converted these to AN as well. Brand new valve cover gaskets, spark plug sealing hole gaskets, obviously plugs, all brand new valve cover bolts, our AVCS seals and whatnot. And then we are actually using Company 23 half moons. These are really cool. You guys will see why when we go to install these in a minute. So let's find our gaskets that match this, get a little bit of sealant in the areas that need sealant. We'll get our valve cover on, get our seals in, get everything bolted down, obviously get our half moons in, all that fun stuff. So actually, let's start with the seals. Let's get our AVCS seals in first. We have non-AVCS on the exhaust side, so obviously that seal goes there. Here's our Company 23 guy. Perfect seal. What's cool with these Company 23 half moons here is that they are cut out for a small, I think this is an M6 or an M10 Allen right there. So if you ever need to take these out, you can put a tool in there and twist it and they'll slide out. If you've ever fought with half moons, actually, I have a stock set over there, hang on. Factory half moons, these are actually plastic, and there are companies like IAG and a whole bunch of other people that make billet versions of this, and there's quite literally nothing wrong with them. But I will say, upon removing them, you have to grab them with pliers and yeet them out. The plastic ones over time break, and they can send shrapnel into the cylinder head. I've done that before, unfortunately. So these Company 23 ones are pretty cool with the fact that they actually have a tool to be able to remove these. So we're gonna get some sealant on these. Get them installed, tap them down, get our valve cover on, and then we can jump over to the other side of the engine. This is looking so good. So both heads installed, cams installed, valve covers on, brand new coil pack, spark plugs, all of that are in here. Dude, it's so refreshing. Because don't get me wrong, I work on a lot of Subarus, and it's not often you get to use all new parts for the most part on things. So being able to do this, it's a treat for me. Even though it's my own car, it's still a treat for me. So next up, we got timing covers. Timing, I will have to retime this later probably. RCM has a wider gear for the dry sump, so I'm waiting on that to come in, but I'm still gonna get the engine time today anyway, so that way we can get everything mocked up and whatnot and get it all for the most part done. I mean, I might swap out that pulley later on, but we'll get it on there for sure. But brand new timing covers, let's get those on. Once timing covers are on, let's time this thing. I am using the RCM high grip tensioner, so this is very similar. If you guys watched my Ej25 build, it's very similar to the Ej33's timing belt tensioner setup. So you've got this eccentric pulley that will move, and then you've got this which will push down on this, keeping more tension on the belt. Fairly common issue with Subarus is on single AVCS cars, they've got plastic cam gears here, and they have a tendency to explode, and we don't like that. So the guys at RCM make some very, very nice billet ones. I've used these on the cars for years. They work beautifully. So we are gonna be opting to use those on this. We're still running single AVCS on this engine, but if you have a single AVCS engine, I would highly suggest doing these things. OEM Subaru gears, because we are running AVCS. We've got a couple things to add in on this side, such as the water line. I don't think I'm going to be using this one, but I'm going to leave it for now in case I do want to add or just keep an extra coolant port. So, I mean, we'll see what I opt to do with that. I don't know quite yet. Thought I had 2 of the gaskets for this. It looks like I only have 1. So, I mean, I didn't buy them because I already had them, so I thought I had 2, I guess. I guess I only had 1, so I'm gonna have to order one for the other side still, but that's fine. Not a big deal. I have the plate, I just don't have the gasket. Our timing belt kit, Company 23 was kind enough to provide this kit over to us. If you guys are looking for timing belt kits, I know there's a lot of options out there, and I know it's very confusing. If you guys are looking for like an OEM Plus setup, I would highly suggest this Company 23 one, which I feel like most people are gonna fall into the category of the Company 23 one. A code for you guys for Company 23's website on timing belt kits. You guys already saw in the engine, we're using a high grip timing belt tensioner from RCM. We're gonna be combining that with this Company 23 kit. So the only things out of this kit that I guess we're not using are the OEM tensioner. I'll set this aside for another engine build that I'll be doing in the future. The cog pulley past the water pump, because we have a dry sump, we have an extended one with another pulley that drives the dry sump, and the smaller idler, because that comes with our high grip timing belt setup. So what we're gonna be using is the belt from Company 23, the tour, and the 2 round pulleys. You can opt to get these kits with water pumps as well. As you guys saw, we're not running an OEM oil cooler, so we do not need a water pump because we are using the RCM one. So let's go get our engine setup for this. It's either gonna go well or it's not. I don't see why it would not go well though. There we go. So you can take this front garnish off, or this front cover, for this lower pulley for the dry sump. Oh, this whole little pulley piece comes off actually. That's actually kind of neat. So we're just gonna get this guy out of here. So this right here, I believe is the only thing that, so I thought we were gonna have to swap this whole piece from RCM. Apparently not, because they sent over a wider pulley set and a wider belt for this. So it looks like we can just take the dry sump portion off, which is pretty neat. Line all this up. Now before I start spinning all this stuff around over here, I'm just gonna get the tool set up on here first. Turn our engine over until she lines up, which honestly ain't too far. The upper one is a little bit off. It's gotta come towards me just a bit. Right there. That totally just came off. That guy sits right like that. That guy sits right like that. We're still on the crank right there. There we go. I'm just gonna slowly turn this over to let it, I can see the tensioner doing its magic. Not done yet, we still gotta set all of our timing belt guide gaps, but dude, that is freaking, and we gotta torque everything down. So actually, let's do that. Yeah, we got a timed engine, you guys. So before we jump into anything else, we're gonna get our ABCS covers on, get our timing belt guides on and set. Should be pretty straightforward. It's not too bad. I got a tool that Company 23 actually provides with their guide that works beautifully too. They give you this nice little plastic spacer piece. It's a little shim, I guess. And you just gotta put that on there, set it up, and then you can tighten all these down. And we're gonna use this tool for all three of the guides. We have a timed engine, and dude, this thing looks so good. So at this point we need to get the timing covers on, but that is not as self-explanatory as it might seem. Because we have the dry sump and we have that pulley that sticks out, we need to cut a hole in the timing cover. Now we are using some RCM clear timing covers just because I think it looks cool. So we're gonna take the template that RCM provides for the dry sump, inlay that into our timing cover, just draw a circle, and we're just gonna cut it out. And then from there we should be able to just make everything fit. Hola to the next morning. You can call me Mr. Four Eyes if you want. So the engine is ready to go in the car with the exception of the clutch, which we got right here. So the only reason I didn't get it on last night, get it in the car last night, is because I didn't have any Loctite. So the flywheel bolts, I use red Loctite. For the pressure plate bolts, blue Loctite. So now that we have that, let's get our clutch on this thing. Like I said, we're using the ACT Mod Twin. This is my favorite twin disc for like street car applications that make decent power, or even a car that just makes decent power, even if you're taking it to the track. The pedal feel on these feels like OEM. They hold a good amount of torque. We're not gonna surpass the torque limit of this clutch, so it'll be absolutely perfect for us. So let's get our clutch on. Let's get this engine in. Don't have to do this. Something I like to do is spray these out with a little bit of parts cleaner. Get any oil that's inside of the holes out. There are some oils that can build up in the crank, and if you mix Loctite and oil, it doesn't always do the Loctite thing. So I've learned in the past from one of my own mistakes on my own car to do this. Parts cleaner will also evaporate, so while you're taking apart your clutch or taking a poop or scratching your butt or doing whatever you're doing, this should evaporate out also, but it's just good practice to just wipe it out also. Flywheel and snake it in here. Just like that, we got an engine in the car now, you guys. So this, I mean, it fits pretty well. I do think we're gonna be a little bit tight on radiator fan clearance to the crank pulley, but that's nothing new for me. You remember the Ej25 was inside the radiator. That should not be too much of a problem. So now that we have the engine in, we can start doing a lot of other things. We can start playing with wiring. I need to get an intake manifold for this. I'm just hesitant to buy one right now, but I mean, I just need to bite the bullet and order one. So we'll probably do a Cosworth on this, a forward facing, and then just have the intercooler piping come out and then wrap down through there to go to our front mount. On the other side, we'll probably just go throughout one of these holes like a normal GD would, but dude, that looks so good in there. I ended up swapping back over to a normal STI coolant crossover. The radiator hose is just gonna be easier to have go from there to here because the stock one will work, same with the bottom. The only difference is where the outlet is for it comes out over there versus right in the middle to go to that. So I'll just run a hose to the back. It shouldn't be too big of an issue, but dude, that looks so good. So in the next video, we're gonna jump into more mechanical stuff because I still want to break from painting. However, I did get my new paint gun, so we will try that out in an upcoming video. But we still have our power steering system to do. I want to get the rear quarter glass in. There's a whole bunch of other miscellaneous smaller things that we can get tossed on the car as well. So with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. I'm hyped. Oh, I didn't even show you guys. I got my Haltech display in here too. Look at that. It looks so good in there. It fits so perfectly. If there's anything in the video that you saw that you liked that was either OEM or RCM, definitely hit up our guys over at Flatiron Tuning. You can use our discount code Smeedia and save some money over there. That discount code does only work on OEM Subaru and RCM parts right now. So if you're going over there and you're trying the code and it's not working, it may be because you're trying to buy something that's not one of those things. If you have those things in your cart, it'll apply to your cart. But like I said, with that, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, sight, and whatever color it might turn for you. And if you're not subscribed to the channel already and you want to be, I'll put it in one of these corners. No idea which one quite yet, but with that, I will catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.